What if the real key to getting pregnant is not your hormones, but your microbiome? Your gut and womb are speaking to each other all day and every day through your immune system, hormones, and intuition. And when inflammation is high or the microbiome is imbalanced, the body doesn't say no. It says, not yet. It's not safe. And today, we reveal the connection almost every fertility clinic overlooks: the gut womb axis. Join me as we take a journey into the science and intuition of the gut womb axis and microbiome. Welcome to Fertile Frequencies Radio, the podcast that's here to revolutionize your fertility journey by going beyond hormones and cycle tracking. We combine science, spirit, and mindset to help you finally achieve success. If you're done with the same old fertility advice, you've come to the right place. This is where we celebrate every fertile win and empower you to view your fertility as so much more than just your physical body. Get ready for powerful stories, expert insights, and interviews, and endless amounts of encouragement to uplift and inspire you every step of the way. Welcome back to Fertile Frequencies Radio, the space where science meets spirit and where mindset meets biology, and where your womb is honored as a channel of creation. I'm your host, Lindsay Goodwin, and for those of you that are new to Fertile Frequencies Radio, I am so excited that you have joined, and I am a natural reproductive medicine expert as well as a spirit baby medium and fertile mindset mastery mentor, and I am so excited that you joined. And today we are going to be talking about something that is really important and I find that often is overlooked. And you might already be well aware of this and curious. Obviously, you found this episode, and this episode is going to be really great because we are going to talk about not only the science side of the gut and vaginal microbiome, but we are also going to be talking about your intuition and how that connects to your energy as well. So this is going to be a jam-packed episode that's really going to give you a lot of great information, very holistic, and everything here at Fertile Frequencies is going to be very holistic and give you that well-rounded, just looking at every part of you and your fertility journey, and not only your fertility journey, but also beyond. Remembering that your fertility journey is a self-discovery journey, and it's giving you the opportunity to really grow in the direction not only as a parent, but for your overall journey to be able to be in the best version of yourself of what you're looking for. So let's go ahead and get started. And in this episode, we are going to be diving deep into the gut microbiome, the vaginal microbiome, inflammation, your intuition, and how it all connects, as well as the hidden fertility connection almost no one is talking about. Because here's the thing we have to remember is that if the soil, the fertility, the ability to plant the seed, I like to think of things in analogies. If that soil, like your uterine lining or just the egg quality, the sperm quality, if that has not been taken care of and it's not healthy, that fertility seed, which would be the embryo, is not going to thrive. And so this might be where we see things like miscarriages or maybe not even getting pregnant or failed IVF cycles, IUI cycles, fertility treatment cycles. Because if that soil is not healthy, again, that seed is not going to be able to thrive. Now, where is this soil really getting its health from? It's getting its health from the gut microbiome, and really it's giving the body the opportunity to create what needs to happen to create the environment to have a healthy pregnancy. And so this is often an area that doctors are missing. And I'm not saying every provider out there, but it's not something that really is practiced much like in major medicine. You will find doctors that do know about this and are very much on board with helping you with this. But it is something that you often have to ask for. And generally working with someone that's more on the holistic side, like a naturopathic doctor, functional medicine, someone like myself that's really going to be able to help you with this and understands more of the holistic side. So, this is the biology that most doctors are missing. And again, this is the gut womb access. And we're really going to explain this today. And let's start with something really foundational. I'm a big person on statistics. My whole thing is that I'm not just about the spirit. I'm about giving you proof, and science gives us proof. And one thing we have to remember about science is that science began as a thought. It was a thought in the unseen, which is energy. And so someone was able to prove it. So we can't always say that everything that science says is correct. Okay. I don't believe that. But I do believe that there's a lot in science that's really valid, like most things, honestly. But we also have to understand that we can't be all science either, that there are things that are not explainable as well because they're coming from an energy component that hasn't quite been proven. And quantum physics is now proving so much of what the new age movement has been talking about for years with energy, just a different way of talking about it. So we are finding that there is a connection between the unseen and the science. But one thing I have to say is I'm not a fan of the woo woo, and I know a lot of people talk about that. But the reason why is because this is not so far fetched anymore. Woo woo was a thing that was around when, people thought that it was so far off. And this isn't woo. This isn't woo. I just absolutely cannot stand it when people say that because this is obvious. This is so much of this is being proven now. And again, I mean, some things can't be proven, but I still don't prefer to say the woo thing. I think it just makes it look and sound cheap and ridiculous. And that's my opinion. I prefer the unseen and the integration of science and spirit, the integration of science and the unseen that we haven't quite proven yet. So, 70% of the immune system is living in the gut. Wow, that's really powerful. Okay. So, whether you're trying to get pregnant or not, 70% of your immune system is living in the gut. Why are we not supporting this more just in overall health? And this might be a statistic that you're already aware of. So, your immune system is directly influencing hormonal balance, inflammation levels, as well as the endometrium, which is the uterine lining, and the implantation. Okay. So, your gut bacteria helps metabolize estrogen. Estrogen is one of the most biggest culprits in infertility cases of overabundance of estrogen. And so when we have xenoestrogens, which are fake estrogens that are found in food and our environment, that's creating an overabundance of estrogen. Now, estrogen also can be rebalanced through things like castor oil packs. If you are going through fertility treatments, please always check in with your RE because it's important to remember that we don't want to be doing anything could be disrupting the cycle. As well as I don't recommend doing castor oil packs if you are actively trying to conceive after you've ovulated, because there could be a possibility that you're pregnant. We don't want to bring too much movement or heat to the womb space if you do have an embryo in there. So if you are going to use castor oil packs actively trying to conceive, make sure that you're doing them only in the menstrual phase as well as the follicular phase. After that, we're not doing it anymore. Okay. And I have to state for disclaimer that this podcast is for educational purposes only. I am not your medical provider. Please make sure that you are checking in with your medical providers and continuing to stay close to treatment and what they are suggesting for you. And if you would like to work with me, there is all kinds of information in the show notes about how to be able to do that if you are interested in becoming one of my clients. So, the hormone that is responsible for building the uterine lining and supporting implantation is estrogen. So, we need estrogen as well as progesterone and other hormones as well. But estrogen is very important. But when it gets to be overabundant, it becomes a problem. Okay. So when the microbiome is healthy, estrogen metabolizes smoothly. And when there is an overabundance present, estrogen recirculates and becomes inflammatory. So, also, estrogen creates things like tumors, as well as endometriosis is estrogen dependent, as well as a lot of breast cancers are estrogen dependent. And so estrogen can really be a problem. It creates a lot of inflammation if there's too much of it, as well as it can create things like tumors that we don't want or overgrowth of tissue, like tumors are overgrowth of tissue, as well as things like endometriosis. So we're really talking about symptoms like heavy periods, clotting, PMS, PMDD, as well as possibly painful ovulation. And the microbiome influences the estrogen detox, blood sugar regulation, the uterine lining quality. Okay. And here's some more statistics for you. Studies have shown that up to 30% for those listening to this that are doing IVF cycles or maybe considering it, up to 30% of IVF failures are actually related to the vaginal microbiome imbalance. Okay. You've got things specifically like low lactobacillus, but almost no fertility clinics are testing for this. I wonder why. I don't know. There needs to be more investigation there, okay? Like, not saying that anyone is doing anything wrong, but why are we not doing more investigation here? This is my question. Why are we not doing more investigation? So, I want you to ask those questions. I want you to ask the question about your own journey. Why is my provider not doing more investigation? The more that people ask for things, the more that it's going to push these clinics to do what you want. Okay. You're paying a lot of money if you are somebody doing fertility treatments to have your doctors help you, to advocate for you. Okay. So ask them for what you want. If enough patients are saying what they want, things are going to have to change because they're going to have to do what their patients want to continue to keep the clinic going. Okay. It's not only about that, it's about how can we make it so that our patients are having the highest success rates? Okay. We have to constantly be evolving and changing. And all my programs, I'm constantly evolving and changing because that's what we need. We can't stay the same all the time. We can't do the same thing all the time. We have to be open and receptive to new ways of doing things. Okay. Because the universe is constantly changing. Science is constantly changing. So we have to ask for what we want. We have to request it, especially if you're a patient. Advocate for yourself. Listen to this podcast. I'm here to help you to be able to feel confident enough to say what you want to your providers. I believe that you should. Don't be intimidated by them. They are working for you. Remember that. They are working for you. It is not that they're doing you a favor, which is sometimes what I see with some of these clinics, is it's almost like they're doing you some sort of favor. That's the sort of energy that's given out. No, you have hired them. They need to work for you. Okay. I want you to feel that way with everything that you go into. Remember that when you hire someone, they're working for you. They need to be remembering that you hired them. They're not doing you a favor. Okay. This whole attitude of like that drives me nuts. They are working for you. Okay. So you can transfer the highest grade embryo into your womb that is inflamed, but I have to ask yourself the question, is it really going to stick? I don't know. Maybe some will, but chances are probably most are not. Because the body is going to shut down the fertility if it's full of inflammation, as well as it just doesn't feel safe. And inflammation could energetically be an energy of not feeling safe. It's protection. It's trying to protect itself. And this is why women will say, the doctor told me everything looks perfect, but I still can't get pregnant. Well, because your body's full of inflammation, most likely, and it doesn't have what it needs to have a healthy pregnancy. So your womb might be ready, but the soul or your microbiome needs healing. Okay. And this leads me into the real fertility patterns and signs that the microbiome imbalance may be blocking in conception. So let's talk about the real world examples. Let's talk about women first. Then we're going to talk about men. Signs that the gut microbiome womb access, needs support would be reoccurring BV or yeast infections. Oh my gosh, so many women have this going on. and they don't know what to do about it, okay? So if you are having this is a clear sign that something's going on in your gut, as well as painful periods or clotting, endometriosis flares, PCOS, and insulin resistance, as well as low progesterone. And most women are given hormones like letrozole or IVF when the real issue might be inflammation, okay? As well as research shows women with endometriosis have significantly different gut bacteria than women without it. That tells us a lot about what's going on with the estrogen. Okay. And now we move into men. And men, yes, are absolutely part of this microbiome conversation. Up to 50% of infertility cases are the male factor. And the gut microbiome in men is influencing sperm motility, sperm morphology, as well as DNA fragmentation. Okay, guys, this is really important. You're a huge part of this. And I have to say that the embryo, like whether or not it's going to be high quality, like a lot of times, even like if we look at IVF, like if an embryo isn't making it to a 5-day blast, that's because it has something to do with the sperm quality, the male factor, okay? And so someone can have normal sperm count, but also if inflammation is high, the DNA fragmentation occurs and we can have IVF failure, like I just said, okay? The gut determines sperm quality, some root causes, and different expression. There's a lot going on here. Both sides need to be have that soil healthy to be able to have that healthy seed that plants in the soil, which is the embryo. So moving on to advocating for yourself, I kind of talked about this already, and what to ask your licensed health provider. I'm going to say this again, that probably most modern medicine medical doctors, unless they are functional medicine as well or naturopathic, probably are not going to do a lot of these testing. So you might have to ask for a referral. But the next time that you are working with your licensed reproductive medicine health provider, you can ask these questions. Can we test my vaginal microbiome? And if you need to pause this to go grab some paper and a pen to write this down, and also make sure to save this episode because there's so much great information in here to help you in the next phase of being able to get some of this testing done. Because this could be the answer to why you have had infertility or why your IVF cycles haven't worked, or maybe you're going into one. So I want to make sure that you write this information down and save this episode. So can we test my vaginal microbiome? Can we test the microbiome? Can the gut microbiome? Can we run sperm DNA fragmentation test? And can we assess inflammatory markers? These are all very important questions to ask your licensed reproductive medicine health provider. Okay? These tests uncover what hormone labs cannot. Because your body isn't broken, it's communicating. So the hormone labs are really important, but you also want to do these other tests as well. We can't just be looking at hormones. The gut microbiome is so much about why the hormones are out of whack. Or sometimes the hormones might be totally normal, but the gut microbiome or vaginal microbiome is not, and could be contributing factor of why you're not getting pregnant. And this can create egg quality issues as well. I haven't mentioned that yet. And so how does the intuition connect to all this? Your gut holds instinct. Okay, if we think of the solar plexus, which is the gut, okay, if we're thinking of chakras, and that's going to be your earthly intuition, that's going to be your confidence, that's going to be your powerhouse of your body, okay? So remembering that the body is the avatar. Who's really in charge? Your higher self, your soul self, okay, not your body. You tell your body what to do. All right. So we've been taught the other way that, oh, we're just at the mercy of our body. No, you're not. You are in charge of your body. Does it take time for your body to catch up and heal? Yes. So I want you to give yourself grace in this healing process. I don't want you to just say, oh, body, do what I want you to do right now on command. You know, there might be things that need to be regulated and catch up. But I want you to start having the mindset that your body's an avatar. It's a machine. Who's in charge? You're in charge. Soul self, energy, your consciousness is in charge. Your womb holds intuition, and when the microbiome is inflamed, it becomes much harder to hear your higher self, to hear your intuition, to tune in with your solar plexus, your confidence. You lose your confidence when you feel like you're out of control, right? I think all of us can attest to that, can feel that when we feel like we're out of control, our intuition is like, we don't even know where it's at. We're completely in our head. We're letting the avatar take over. So I want you to remember this, that the more that you're in your head about stuff, the less you're connected to your higher self, to your soul self, to your intuition. And so it's getting back to that, okay? So when you get out of your head, that inflammation is going to drop and you're going to become much more in touch with yourself. So I want you to try this. We're going to do a little, I'm going to give you a little energy exercise here. So I want you to put your hand on your gut. I want you to put one hand on your womb. Okay, so they're very close to each other. Gut's going to be solar plexus, which is just above the navel. And you're going to put one hand on your womb, which is just below the navel. And I want you to breathe slowly. I want you to connect with your breath. Just allow yourself to connect with your breath. Just take a second, close your eyes. Really feel that connection. Just breathe normally. And then what I want you to say to yourself is, I hear you. I trust you. Your womb is always speaking. My womb is always speaking. And I'm just learning her language again. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if this episode is something that awakens something in you, no one has ever tested your microbiome, or things have been overlooked that could be inflammation, and you feel like there's a missing link, book a discovery call with me, a fertility discovery call with me. And we can talk about my fertility reset program and how that can really help you to heal your gut inflammation, balance hormones naturally, and restore your womb receptivity, as well as reset your mind, body, and energy to receive a healthy pregnancy. And everything is linked in the show notes to be able to book that. And we'll sit down for 30 minutes and talk about something that we can build out for you that's going to be unique to what your needs are, okay? So there's no obligation here. And thank you so much for tuning into this episode today here at Fertile Frequencies. And I'll see you in the next episode. Your womb is not behind. Your body is not late. You are aligning with divine timing. And if this episode moved you, if you learned something new and you felt seen, understood, and awakened, please take a moment to leave us a 5-star review. It helps this message reach more women who need the support. You can also submit your questions, stories, and feedback through our listener submission form linked right in the show notes. Your voice shapes future episodes, and I'd love to connect with what you're moving through right now. And please share this episode with someone on a fertility path who needs this message. And don't forget to tune in to the next episode here with me at Fertile Frequencies Radio with my guest, Elizabeth King. She is an international fertility mentor. You don't want to miss this conversation. We talk about her unique fertility journey of becoming a mom after 40, as well as all of the wonderful goodness that we talk about at Fertile Frequencies Radio about the connection of the science, spirit, and mindset. Again, you don't want to miss this conversation. So make sure that you tune in for the next episode. And thank you for being a part of this movement, this reclamation, this remembering. Your womb is wise. Your timing is perfect. Your miracle is already in motion. And I'll see you in the next episode.